Today we shall see the third important general examination finding, namely cyanosis. The term cyanosis derived from the Greek term kainos, meaning dark blue, and osis means it is a condition. And from this term, see, cyanosis is derived as a Latin term. Today I am going to deal this topic under the headings: definition, causes, pathophysiology, symptoms, method of examination, other signs, difficulties, red flags, confirmation, and other related terms. Definition of cyanosis: bluish discoloration of skin and mucous membrane due to increased amount of reduced hemoglobin more than 5 gram percentage in the capillary bed where you are seeing cyanosis. There are two types of cyanosis, central and peripheral. When seen throughout the body, it is what is called the central cyanosis. That means there should be cyanosis there in the tongue and the hands. Cyanosis in the periphery alone is the peripheral cyanosis. Warm cyanosis is central cyanosis. Cold cyanosis is peripheral cyanosis. In central cyanosis, blood will be blue in color when it is leaving the heart, and in peripheral cyanosis, blood will be red in color when it is leaving the heart but become blue when it is reaching the fingers and toes. Normal ratio of oxyhemoglobin and reduced hemoglobin. In the arterial blood, the ratio is 95:5. Venous blood, it is 70:30. Mean of these there will be in the capillary blood, that is 5 to 30% of reduced hemoglobin, that is 0.7, that will come to the tune of 0.7 to 5 gram percentage of reduced hemoglobin. Causes of cyanosis we will see now. The most important other sign known to along with the cyanosis is the congestion, and there are two types of cyanosis, that is cyanosis seen with the polycythemia and central cyanosis seen without polycythemia. Now we shall see what are the causes of central cyanosis with the polycythemia. The most important cause is the COPD, that is chronic bronchitis, emphysema. Then next important cause is the congenital cyanotic heart disease, that is tetralogy of Fallot, Eisenmenger syndrome, transposition of great vessels, tricuspid atresia, total anomalous pulmonary venous connection. Yet another cause for central cyanosis with polycythemia is AV malformation elsewhere there in the body. Hematological condition known to produce polycythemia, known to produce central cyanosis and polycythemia are polycythemia rubra virea, meth and sulfhemoglobinemia, obstructive sleep apnea, high affinity hemoglobin, a long stay at high altitude. Central cyanosis without polycythemia, that is acute cyanosis, that is usually an emergency. The conditions are upper airway obstruction, bronchopneumonia, lobar pneumonia, acute severe asthma, near fatal asthma, tension pneumothorax, pulmonary embolism, interstitial lung disease. In the case of nervous system, it is apnea, that is cessation of breathing, as in the case of narcotic poisoning. Rapid ascent to high altitude, usually to more than a sudden ascent more than 2400 meters is known to produce cyanosis, and hypothermia is also known to produce cyanosis without polycythemia. Peripheral cyanosis, usually after exposure to cold, and second one, in all emergency where you will get marked sympathetic overactivity, peripheral vasoconstriction, and therefore peripheral cyanosis. This is known to occur in the case of shock, anxiety, left ventricular failure, bronchial asthma during acute exacerbation. Vascular causes are Raynaud's disease, venous obstruction. Causes of cyanosis, again a few important causes you have to consider. Central cyanosis, that is COPD, congenital cyanotic heart disease, Eisenmenger syndrome, methemoglobinemia, airway obstruction, pneumonia. All these conditions we have discussed, but see, these are the common conditions which are known to produce central cyanosis. The peripheral cyanosis, the reduced cardiac output as in the case of shock and heart failure, peripheral arterial disease, exposure to cold, Raynaud phenomenon, venous obstruction and acrocyanosis. Pathophysiology, we shall see now the pathophysiology of cyanosis. SaO2, usually it is 30 to 90%, that is the percentage of hemoglobin saturated with oxygen is the SaO2. Hemoglobin normal range, it is for male it is 13 to 18 and female it is 12 to 16 gram percentage. Partial pressure of oxygen, that is arterial oxygen partial pressure, normally it is 80 to 100 millimeters of mercury. SpO2, that is peripheral capillary oxygen saturation, that is normally partial pressure of oxygen reading less than 80 to 85 millimeters of mercury, or a pulse oximetry value less than 95% is known to produce cyanosis. And you have to carefully see this slide. The x-axis represented that partial pressure of oxygen or SaO2, and y-axis shows the hemoglobin level. See, at hemoglobin level 15, when the partial pressure of oxygen is less than 85, you get cyanosis. But the same extent of cyanosis you will see when the hemoglobin is only 9, when the partial pressure of oxygen is dangerously low, that is less than around 60. Therefore, it is difficult to see cyanosis in presence of pallor, and you will not get cyanosis when the hemoglobin below 5 gram percentage. But when it is above 5 gram percentage, most of the patients may not develop cyanosis even when they are having dangerously low oxygen saturation. And therefore, any amount of cyanosis seen in a pale patient is always indicative of a dangerously low level of hypoxia. Method of examination. Examination should be carried out under natural light, and sites where you have to look, again it is the tip and sides of tongue, palm, nails, especially the white of the nail, that is the lunulae, at the fingertip, nose tip, ear lobule, lips exposed, and these areas are known to produce cyanosis when the person is exposed to cold. Compare the warmth of the hand, forearm, and you have to see again what is the effect of warming on cyanosis, and also you have to see what the effect of oxygen administration to the level of cyanosis. Now, the differentiating points for the central cyanosis, it will be present elsewhere in the body, tongue will be blue, hand will be warm, no change on warming, and the cyanosis may improve with oxygen. Clubbing and polycythemia will be seen as an associated sign, and patient may exhibit usually high pulse volume especially when the person is having hypercapnia, and patient may be dyspneic, and arterial saturation usually is less than 85%. In the case of peripheral cyanosis, present only in the periphery like hand and feet, and that is why it is called peripheral cyanosis, and tongue will not be blue and hand will be cold, and the cyanosis may disappear on warming, no improvement with oxygen administration, and usually it will not be associated with clubbing and polycythemia. And low pulse volume when the person is in crisis may be low, and patient usually will not be dyspneic, and arterial saturation usually normal. In this picture, everywhere it is blue, tongue is blue, fingertips are blue, hand is blue, even when the person, and therefore even in this dark complexion you can see cyanosis everywhere. Therefore this is central cyanosis. And here at the tip and sides of the tongue and also the dorsum of the tongue devoid of coating are also showing the central cyanosis and congestion. This slide shows cyanosis there in the palm, and for you it is difficult to appreciate the blue color, but this is usually the shade of cyanosis in dark individual. And when you are in doubt, you can compare the color with your own palm as shown there in this picture. The fingertips are blue in color and nails are blue, pulp are also blue, but the rest of the fingers are not blue. And here the white of the nail, the lunula is also blue in color. This is the typical appearance of peripheral. Now here the lips are blue in color. Usually this appearance is the color appearance is suggestive of central cyanosis. And here the right lower limb alone is blue, and cyanosis in one limb can occur when there is arterial obstruction, venous obstruction, and when there is Raynaud's film. Other signs that you have to look in presence of cyanosis, as already mentioned, when the part is warm or cold, congestion present, clubbing present, when the patient is having pedal edema. And the commonest cause of cyanosis in our usual practice, it is the COPD, and the cause of COPD is usually the chronic smoking, and therefore one has to look for nicotine staining also there in the finger. And the COPD patient may be dyspneic, therefore you have to see whether the patient is dyspneic or not. Now this picture shows the way in which you have to look for warmth of the hand. First you have to check the warmth of the palm, then you have to see what is the warmth of the forearm. When the forearm is less warmer than the hand, that means that is normal. And normally the palm will be more warmer because of the more blood supply there in the palm. But if the forearm is more warmer than the palm, then you have to say the hand, there is decreased perfusion there in the hand, and if this is the way, you have to say whether the cyanosis is warm cyanosis or cold cyanosis. As already mentioned, warm cyanosis is in favor of central cyanosis and cold cyanosis in favor of peripheral cyanosis. This is the nicotine staining, especially the nails you have to check. And see, in heavy smokers, maybe even staining there in the palmar aspect of the finger. But at another important place where you have to look for the nicotine staining, it is there in the oral cavity. And when you are seeing that staining on the teeth, don't jump to the conclusion that there is a nicotine staining. Quite often it is due to tartar. But if the person is wearing any kind of dental prosthesis, the plate that is fixing the dental appliance, especially that is fitting there in the palate, is usually known to show the staining of that smokers more clearly. This picture is showing central cyanosis, and the tongue typically showing congestion and cyanosis, and the child is having cyanotic congenital heart disease. And this is the pink cyanosis. Again, it is seen in congenital cyanotic heart disease. And This slide shows there is a cyanosis and clubbing but in a polycythemia. This is known to occur in extensive bronchiectasis in the interstitial lung disease. These conditions are not acute one but a chronic condition where you can see cyanosis and clubbing too. Another cyanosis, that is mixed cyanosis, that is a combination of central cyanosis and peripheral cyanosis. In central cyanosis, we already mentioned that there will be cyanosis elsewhere, but the hand will be warm. But in when there is associated peripheral cyanosis, hand will be more blue and it will be cold to feel. And such mixed cyanosis is seen in acute exacerbation of COPD, left ventricular failure with pulmonary edema, and very severe asthma, just like near fatal asthma. Differential cyanosis is at another type of cyanosis that is usually seen the cyanosis there in the feet, not there in the fingers. This is usually due to the PDA with a reversal of blood flow. In this differential cyanosis, usually we get cyanosis there in the lower segment of the body, and there will not be any cyanosis there in the upper segment of the body, including hand and fingers. Now, this diagram is showing that the PDA with reversal, where the both lower limbs are cyanosed, upper limbs are not cyanosed, but there is another condition what is called reverse differential cyanosis. It is the upper limbs are cyanosed, but the lower limbs are not, and this is known to occur when there is a when the person is having PDA with the reversal of shunt associated with a transposition of great vessels. And when the patient is having PDA with the reversal of shunt with the pre-ductal coarctation of aorta, you get cyanosis in all four limbs except the right upper. This photo is showing cyanosis there in the toe nail but not there in the fingernail, and therefore this is a differential cyanosis. Here this picture is showing hand and feet of the same person placed nearby, and you can see saturation there in the fingertip it is 95, and saturation there in the toe it is only 80, again differential cyanosis. Difficulties that we will come across to make out that sign is the pigmentation, especially muddy conjunctiva, pigmentation on the tongue and palms, oral cavity, and see when you are seeing the patient there in the night, it is difficult to make out that cyanosis, and therefore you have to see the cyanosis in natural light. Patients suffering from severe anemia, as already mentioned, may not show this cyanosis at all because they develop severe complication of hypoxia, or usually patient with a severe anemia may not show cyanosis. Before showing cyanosis, they may succumb to severe hypoxia. When the person is having methemoglobinemia more than 1.5 gram percentage, they will get that color blue. And when the patient is having sulfamethemoglobinemia more than 0.5 gram percentage, their blood also may look blue in color, but it will be different there in the complexion. It will be slate colored, and methemoglobinemia also the complexion will be different. Both are known to have different shades than what is there in usual type of cyanosis. Now there is argyria, that is deposition of silver there in the skin. This is known to give an ash complexion somewhat similar to cyanosis. Lot of drugs are known to produce skin pigmentation and making difficult to say or suspecting cyanosis. They are chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, amiodarone, especially when they are using the drug for longer period. And this slide is showing the pigmentation of the oral cavity, and therefore if you are not careful, a beginner may say that there is cyanosis. And this is the appearance of blueness there in methemoglobinemia, and this complexion is different. And pseudocyanosis is the term used when there is a bluish tinge to the skin and mucous membrane, but there is no hypoxia or peripheral vasoconstriction. It should be considered when there is no heart or lung disease and the skin does not blanch under pressure. Metal like silver, lead, dust like phenothiazine, amiodarone, chloroquine are usually known to produce this kind of pseudocyanosis. This is the picture of argyria and the silver toxicity or silver deposition in the skin. And at another term you should remember, that is acrocyanosis. Acrocyanosis is the vasomotor instability related blueness of the fingers and feet. But this cyanosis usually will not occur there in the oral cavity. Orthocyanosis or orthodeoxia is the cyanosis and deoxia appearing there in the sitting position, there in the lying down position. Other related term you have to remember: tardy or delayed cyanosis. Cyanosis caused by congenital heart disease, but appearing only after developing heart failure. Cyanosis of the retina, bluish discoloration seen in the retinal vessel as in congenital cyanotic heart disease with polycythemia, and in some poisoning such as dinitrobenzol poisoning. Intermittent cyanosis that is known to occur there in Epstein's anomaly. Enterogenous cyanosis, that is cyanosis usually caused by intestinal absorption of some toxin or some drugs. And you have to remember the nitroglycerin and sodium nitroprusside, phenacetin, sulfonamide, dapsone, and nitrite-rich well water. These are known to produce a picture similar to cyanosis, and this is due to the presence of methemoglobinemia, self-methemoglobinemia. These are all transient, known to disappear with cessation of the drug, or if they are problematic, even you can treat it with methylene. Condition where cyanosis does not occur, these are in severe anemia, as already mentioned, cyanosis does not occur. But in carbon monoxide poisoning, when the patient is severely hypoxic, the carbon monoxide, that is carboxyhemoglobin, pink in color, and therefore even in presence of severe hypoxemia, patient will not develop cyanosis, but the body will look cherry red. Now we have to see in what all way you have to confirm the presence of cyanosis. First and foremost, it is the pulse oximetry, and second one is the ABG. Third one, you have to estimate the hemoglobin level. Fourth one, to see, you have to check the ECG to look for any cardiac abnormality. Next is the X-ray chest. Next is the ventilation perfusion scan and pulmonary angiography, echo to see whether there is any cardiac defect, and hemoglobin spectroscopy, especially with little self-methemoglobinemia or methemoglobinemia, digital subtraction angiography to rule out arterial occlusion, and Doppler study or venography may be required in the case of acute venous obstruction.